love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stop, just give it up, don't back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stop, just give it up, don't stop.
All right, I think we can cut out the annoying bit and sort of get started because I'm late anyways. Hope everybody's doing well. Hello, Casey. Howdy. I love that hello. Forever a staple, if we call it that. Olimio, hello, Johnny. Leo, Stonks, hello, everybody. Nannies, of course, Stonks, Blackberry, hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Let's get into things since I'm already late. I hope the sound is proper and everything is working well. It seems like we're mostly the usuals, and people are now probably already in their comfort zone thinking, the reversal has been cancelled, right? And so we're back to the sort of normal usual selves. That is premature. I thought that will take a little longer before all the new participants will drop off, right? To the moon! Exactly. Yep. Don't worry, they'll be back sooner than later. In fact, this whole thing is actually made more for them than for you guys, which are the community members. You know what it is. First of all, we already have signs of how the market will be reversing sometime soon to close that bottom gap, which is just, that is inevitable at that stage of things. If anything, right now, we should be sort of worried or paying attention to 5 likes and 11 watching. Thank you, Stonks. But truly, guys, press the like. It'll take a second. It's free and all that. Blah, blah, I appreciate that, Stonks. Thank you very much. So basically, we are more so in the lookout for the price action to moving slightly higher, as we are more objective about these things. No biases, remember. The no bias analyst or analysis, whichever you want to go with. It appears to be that, look, I'm going to say that currently, based upon how the momentum is structured, and we're going to look at it, my mind is sort of set towards the range of 5,800 to 5,700. It can play out in various ways. We know that, and we're not trying to assess exactly the price action behavior within the range, but based upon the momentum that is currently under the surface, or rather starting to erupt, or spillover, whichever you want to be. The market is getting frothy back, and we expected this to happen. But we have to be objective to how far can the market run with this momentum and what is more overbearing. In fact, a lot of people are super happy thinking we can rally all the way to 6,000 because once they've heard that, they kind of, disconnected, right? Once Greg said that's it, everything's going to be fine, don't worry, it's all khamsa, 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 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Exactly. We are obviously going to retest 5, 5, 5 again. We are now in some form of, again, it depends on the sort of size that you're looking at, but it will appear as some form of a bull trap of sorts. Not exactly a traditional double top bull trap, but still it will be a trap which will lead to the price action, in my humble opinion, sort of leading, as we said, towards. In fact, you can kind of see it on the screen as is. I literally drew this sort of thing, I think, like a week ago or the beginning of the week. And so this is roughly the assessment. I mean, already as is, I will take your attention that, I mean, we can start, or you know what, let's do our regular sort of spiel that we normally do. Let's go over the regular time frames. We're going to skip the 1 minute because it's irrelevant. It's just really redundant to do that, let's be frank. Right now, as we are sitting currently, the price action is very bullish. It's already got retested a couple of times. It appears to be within the overbought territory. So maybe another impulse. So it's not going to be all that surprising. That impulse makes its way perfectly into this corner. The market likes these wedges and likes to test them. And so it's not going to be all that surprising. And in fact, it appears to be the market is then going to overturn and become more bearish. So that before the session ends, still, we might, although with this sort of at this rate as we're moving, I think we're not going to start to see this. If anything, we might see whatever I just showed, the tiny little knob, maybe in the post market. But mostly right now what we're seeing is appearing to be quite evidently moving into the wedge, the corner, as we oftentimes call it, and then maybe a little bit more sort of bearish behavior within that corner. If we're trying to look further out beyond the end of today's session and beyond this week, because this session will lock in this week, of course, which is pretty cool. That's good for us. That means the very next week we'll be able to have a new candlestick and get a better idea of how things are progressing, whether they are progressing as expected or not. Thank you for all the love that is going there in the chat. I appreciate all that. Nothing on the message. Thanks. Thank you, Stonky. Thank you for reminding people to put a star before the stock. That absolutely does help, absolutely tremendously. Stonks, you are a huge help. Nannies, both of you. You guys are just, again, without you, this would have been hell. Absolutely. Leo, also, I'm sure you're helping and supporting and stuff. But so, absolutely, boys and girls, the moderators, you are doing a phenomenal job. Thank you very much. I really do tremendously appreciate it. And so now that we've kind of looked at what the market will be doing short term, let's try and check out what the market will be doing a little bit further out, since we're looking towards next week. As we progress, we can see we're roughly seeing the same picture, right? We are overbought. We might correct a little bit, but that is a normal process. As we go up, we correct. Again, within the framework that this entire thing is a correction, right? Over the movement we had downwards, over the impulse we have downwards. So we can actually kind of skip over the 45, as it doesn't really show anything substantial or anything different than the 30 minutes, but just, for the sake of the accuracy, here it is. It kind of confirms what we saw on the 30 minutes. Here, what we're seeing actually plays along very neatly with the 30 minutes and the 45 minutes. And so we've gone into overbought territory above the 80 on the stochastic RSI. We are now having convergence, divergence. We will retest probably the current levels we're in, since we are currently testing that resistance, right? That ceiling of the current channel. But don't forget, let me just show you, boys and girls, if it will. Yeah, here it is, a wider channel. Thank you very much. So basically, the assessment currently is that even if we will be testing higher, first of all, we have the internal channel to test. Then we're going to be progressing towards that 57, 58 range, testing that, right? But we'll see how that sort of, how can we identify this? Because so far, everything we're seeing is more so bearish, right? It more so implies that the price action will actually be tugging along downwards along the resistance. And we just said there's that resistance, but no, the fact that we're saying it's going to acknowledge it, test it, does not mean necessarily that that's it, we're bound to get stuck and break back down. No. If anything, there's actually something I've been asked on the Tom's chat by one of his members just earlier. Do I think whether this thing is basically, you know, are we done and the market continuing to go down from here, or is there more? And of course, I've answered there's more. In fact, here it is. We're starting to see on the 4 hours some of that bullish momentum that I'm talking about. And since we plowed through the 50, we are objectively in bullish territory, so that's fine. It completely makes sense and plays along very neatly. If the price action that we're expecting to continue and to become more bullish, to be able to reach these highs that we spoke about, right, the 57, 58 range, to make that path currently, at least temporarily. So again, those who just joined the live, this is not what I'm saying the price action will do. I'm just saying give or take, kind of roughly, right? Let's remove that just for not to get carried away. But the idea is that there's more room for bullish momentum. We in fact are identifying it right here on the 4 hours, right? That's the first place. And the 4 hours, it really starts to become the more important time frame, because all these are relatively small and can indicate a relatively short time frame movement, right? So even if we're going to have a couple of bullish hours, both of these can that can be killed away, if you will, quickly within a movement of an hour on the bearish or bullish time frame, again, sort of the adverse reaction, right? And then have 3 more hours to actually move along within the direction that we already had in the first place, which means we're going to completely eat away at that primary movement and even move along further from it in our direction significantly. So basically the 4 hour is, well, if you think about it, again, whatever the hour can do, the 4 hour can do 4 times better. Just to keep it super simple, whatever the 1 hour signifies, the 4 hour signifies a lot more. In fact, the 4 hours is very much similar to the daily. During the 4 hours, we're getting basically 2 candlesticks per session. For the daily, we're getting a single candlestick per session, right? Basically, we have the single candlestick that represents the entire price action for that particular day, okay? And so right here, we're also starting to see some pickup, right? We understand, though some people will be quite biased and expecting, oh, that's it, you know, from here on out to the moon, like Leo said earlier, but no, that's not the case. In fact, what we are sort of following up is whether this is even able to break out above the 20, which I think it will, to make that price action towards the 57, 58 and retest it at least one time, in my humble opinion. It will need to be able to make it all the way to the 50, at least on the daily time frame, right? Which will then allow it to continue to proceed with that bullish price action towards that 57, 58 range. Test it, as we said, potentially, and only then break back down. That's the assessment, give or take, currently, based upon these. And I'll remind you again that if you're going to be looking actually at the weekly, you're going to realize that all in all, we are still very bearish. This represents the momentum that we've had throughout this week. So the following week, since it's going to be a lot more bullish, what we expect to see is a little bit an overtake, right? It kind of makes sense. It goes hand in hand. Remember, it has to happen. Convergence, divergence, which will take a little bit of time. That's absolutely acceptable and normal. We understand that it has to go hand in hand with the other forces, right? And so that kind of confirms actually that what we're seeing, since we're having this convergence, as we know, market oftentimes retests, once penetrating, actually retests whether we're still bearish, bullish. We're getting that bullish reaction, right? The market sort of has that combined price action, which leads us to believe that, yes, once the switch is over, we're going to have what it takes, right? Right here on the weekly, we're not yet really seeing confirmation from it, but what we are seeing is a hint that the very next step will look sort of like that. And that very much plays along with the thesis. The monthly, though, yes, it still looks like utter, dumpster fire, and we are just getting started. I warned you guys about this particular resistance and how strong it will be, and how And I understand that there's a lot of really strong sentiment of this is just temporary, no problem. I mean, right? I mean, Greg, we've seen this before, like this, for example. I mean, look, we broke down and then we rallied like crazy. No, but this place is different. That's why it's so important to understand proper technical analysis, the cyclicality, the cyclical nature of the market, and what is meant to happen when and why. And why? The why question is tremendously important within the context of understanding why this time, again, of course, so the why this time is different, but to understand the why and understand what it is that the tools are showing you that this time around is different, that affects the why, you see? So you need to be able to identify, measure, understand, and know a certain set of information and knowledge to be able to identify and analyze these things properly, which leads me to my next thing, which I have, again, now we're running into the last 24 hours at which I'm going to have 2 spots to sign up to the one-on-one academy, in which I teach you one-on-one how to do exactly that, to understand the whys, why you do, why you measure certain things, right? What tools you use when you measure them, basically. And so I highly recommend you sign up, because once they're locked. The academy will be locked for quite a while. The academy is absolutely full. I intentionally originally opened these 2 spots because there was high demand. And if I see these spots are not taken, well, I'm simply going to close them down, because I'm already somewhat overstretched with students, and even made me give up some of my flexibility in my schedule. Now, but again, it's worth it if the people are very serious and really want to learn and understand the skill set that is required to understand how was I able to predict these things ahead of time, and now how was I able, again, ahead of time, to tell you that, well, the market, for example, the actual individual assets will be picking back up if we're looking at Tesla, for example. If we are looking at Palantir, which I've told you, there will be a rally, and there is a certain disconnect, if you will, between the indices and the SQQQ, for example, that some of us are in, and how does it benefit us, and how does it affect the individual assets, how does it affect the various sectors, how does it affect precious metals, how does it affect energy. There are so many important things to know and understand. And so honestly, I highly, highly, highly recommend you take the opportunity, you don't miss out, you join the one-on-one academy before I lock it in, and you then will actually be able to understand properly how and why certain things are done. There are 2 ways you can go about it. You can join my Discord, right, and just open a support ticket there, ask me about the one-on-one academy. Or if you're not certain about the Discord, how to get there, and you need help, and you're confused about all this stuff, I gotcha. Here it is. You have a link to an email. You can email me, and I will sort of guide you how to get to the Discord. We'll have that one-on-one conversation, that Q&A, and I'll guide you how to sign up and pay for the one-on-one academy. Otherwise, you'll stay not knowing, like the rest of the public right now. You'll be extremely confused about the very next sort of months, and maybe even longer, or dare I say it, a couple of years from here. And then when the market will start stabilizing, you'll have zero confidence in understanding why is maybe a good opportunity to start buying, right? You'll simply not know why. In fact, when the market gets so bearish and the sentiment, if the market does breach or reach these 3,300, as I'm saying, by that moment, your sentiment will be very different than what it is right now. I promise you that. And so not to get confused and to understand why and what is going on in the market, you should take the one-on-one academy while it's still on the table. And slowly with time, like I said, I'm going to be shrinking the amount of spots, simply because I now have so much more responsibility in my community and things that I'm planning with them. And so right now is definitely the last opportunity to take it. DM me ASAP, otherwise you miss out. Bummer. Then you'll have to cry me a river. And you see, look at the title, right? So I know what you're thinking, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking wrong, basically, and it's a big time mistake, and I will tell you why. So no bullshit, right? Let me tell you why. What it is that people are thinking, and what it is and why am I saying that people will get this wrong again. People right now are basically thinking that, no, everything is fine. From here on out, we're going to rally. We've already seen this before. And that's it. From here on out, basically to the moon, right? I mean, some people will say, well, oh, gaps take forever to close. Who says this gap will even close? And all sorts of crap. But remember, we were able to predict this movement ahead of time before any of the events that are causing them right now were on the table. So that means the methodology, the systems are not a rain dance, as some people like to call it, or voodoo, blah, blah, whatever they want to say. Doesn't matter. The fact of the matter here, which you can observe month over day after day, month over month, at this point, year after year, actually, this stage of the channel. This channel will, I think I need to start celebrating birthday and stuff for the channel. By the way, again, to those who will watch later, welcome to the channel, and thank you all, especially the new members that sort of just arriving. And I'm grateful for you to join finally the party. It's a good time. Definitely you'll learn why and how, what's going on in the market, come to understand it better. And yeah, so what we're seeing basically is not anything that we haven't predicted before. And like I said, I highly recommend you definitely take the opportunity, and so you will be in the know. So you'll know why. You'll know better, right? That is what I offer. Now, well done, Bunko. What's going on there? What am I already? Greg's buttons. I, by the way, got another. Those who in the community who are not aware, got another 100 SQQ today. And I'm kind of DCAing and using this opportunity, and so now I'm again setting on 1,000 shares. If we're sort of looking in reverse to the reverse split, it's basically equal to holding 5,000 shares before split. It's 1,000 shares right now. Really sort of keeps me and helps me bring my average, because I started rather high, lower, and of course improves my position. And since we're not going to be drawing as low, it's not going to be a one-to-one movement, and so now every opportunity I have, I take the opportunity and buy more SQQs. Definitely, I think that's it doesn't matter to me whether, if the swing behaves this sort of way. It doesn't really matter whether to buy here and here sort of thing, or whether here and here. It's the same levels. I'll be paying the same price. I'm just saying. So it doesn't really matter to me all in all. And it doesn't reduce my average anyways, so it sort of works for me anyways. And I was planning to buy more. In fact, I am planning to buy even more. Probably, I don't know, I want to say next week, but probably there is a high probability that it's going to be next week that I'm going to be buying more. Of course, join my Discord, join the Patreon. That way you'll always be up to speed to my positions, because I post all my positions on the Discord. We have various really cool channels right here, besides just me alerting everybody to me going live. You have the open forum where we hang out on a daily basis, the one-on-one where I actually teach the students, the main chat where we discuss pretty much anything and everything, as you can see, the tickers where people ask about various tickers and we discuss and post technical analysis. Of course, you can open sort of a thread over any ticker. As long as it does not exist already, we'll of course discuss it and we'll keep you posted. Testimonials from my academy, from my students. People who can tell you how it is. By the way, here, this is actually very important. People here, Stonko, thank you very much. You goddamn legend. Gary, Polinka, Brad, Mustang Mama, Leo, Chris, I'm just going to say that, I guess. Alex, Mircha, yeah, you can see that. Tech Invest. So all of these members are previous students of mine. There's, of course, many more that have not yet commented, which, by the way, guys, come on, guys. My positions, of course, where I keep you guys informed of my positions. You can see, like I said, I'm holding 1,000 SQQs. Charting 101, when I sort of update people on the basics, the foundation sort of stuff. Must watch, tremendous, amazing videos. I highly recommend my members all watch. I recommend technically all of you watch as well, my viewers. And so, yeah, it's a very good community where we talk about all these things, and where actually most of my members and why most of my members are up to speed and aware of most of these events, because we get to talk to each other on a daily basis. And so, yes, definitely join my Patreon, so you'll be able to join the Discord, because the only way to join Discord, just to be clear, the Discord is 100% private. The only way to join Discord is to join the Patreon, right? And the Patreon is basically just a gateway, and it will then, once you sign up on Patreon, which, by the way, right now is 50% discounted. All of the tiers there are now 50% discounted. I highly recommend take the opportunity, otherwise you'll miss out as well. Unless you want to become an academy member, a one-on-one student, in which case you just get the lifetime membership. So yeah, definitely highly sort of recommended to consider that as a factor. Nothing here is financial advice. Just because we're there, why not, right? And yeah, that's it. I guess that is for it for today's SoFi Hood. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. No, do not yell. Do not yell at me. I was thinking I was going to get away early today, but it seems that's not gonna happen. So, damn it. I was planning to run away quick, but appears it's not gonna happen. Hood. Let's see Hood. Let's see if anything changed. Let's see if I'm gonna be yelling at you, Leo, or I'm gonna be saying like, okay, that's okay. Let's see. It's a downtrend, obviously. On the 1 hour, it seems like the upcoming sessions will be a little bit more negative than positive. It falls in line very neatly with the channels. Below less important. On the hourly, it appears to be like you're up for a bit of a corrective movement. It's pretty evident. So upside, I'm assuming that is like the ceiling of this, maybe the wedge, right? Like kind of that area. So falls perfectly, falls in line, works just fine. Makes sense. Again, you just penetrated, oversold, so convergence, divergence, retest completely makes sense for that to happen. Maybe even this you're gonna follow this wedge for some time. The overall negative will come into play further down the line because this is monthly and we have some time still already gone very negative. You're getting to see the first signs, like you're starting to see and smell the sea, but you're not really there yet. And yeah, that is Hood. That's it. That was Hood real quick. Let's do SoFi. Actually, SoFi is interesting. I think, wait, haven't I don't think I've gone through SoFi in some time now. Let's check out the movement on the current price action. We said we are having a lot of mess on my charts. That's what we're having. Crooked ass pattern, right? Now on SoFi, that is negative, but that is an hour. 4 hours is more positive. Interesting. Positive. So it appears to be like you're having that correction with the rest of the market. So the falls in line very neatly. I would argue that probably back into the range. So like 1262 and 1342 are, Bob's your uncles, right? Schmunkles, bunkles, funkles. Yes, that's your thing. Bob's your uncle right there at that range, and Santa Claus is your sister, of course. Don't forget, Santa Claus is your sister right there at SoFi, on SoFi at 1262, 1342. I would argue probably 1350 and 1250 because they're far too close to psychological levels, which are exactly which I am a freaking moron. I didn't even notice there are actually physically on the screen. And so, yes, that totally makes sense to us. Considering, let me just remove this junk. I'm going to bring it back in a second. But considering this, right, it sort of plays in line, or at least this, something of the sorts, or at least a temporary retest. That totally works with that. That totally works with that, basically. Yeah, that totally works very, very, very neatly. Let me bring back whatever the hell I had here, which I have no idea. What the hell is this? Oh yeah, that was me saying we're gonna be going down. Okay, so yeah, everything worked fine. So this is V. You see, I got another V. I should start counting these, but I never follow up. I suck. I know. So yeah, we were saying there will be a downtrend. Ta-da! There was a downtrend. Ta-da! Just like this whole thing should probably be again. I always say, guys, I'm sorry I draw these things offset, right? A little bit further out so you can see, so you can like have an idea what it is that I'm trying to explain, and understand it rather, because can draw like this sort of thing. This sort of thing. This is hard to believe in, and yes, the market does actually tend to do this. or that, if you will, rather than that, as you can see. I just have this weird tendency of drawing this angle, if you will, wink, wink. Now, so what are we doing now, though? What is the market doing now? Monthly, you're still drawing down. I mean, actually, here it is. In fact, maybe it was originally set for the month and I'm an actual moron. Let's see. You know what? Let's just sort of bring it back, right? Right now it's off kilter. Let's go to the monthly. And yes, apparently I'm a freaking moron and it was correct in the first place. Okay, that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. So basically what I'm saying, and I was saying it, that we will be going down. And it appears to be that I'm so far correct. So I get a V still. I still get a V. Ta-da! You know, pat myself on the back, right? Now, okay, now that we've got this done, let's go TROW. Christoph, TROW? Yes, yeah. Throw. Yeah. It looks like I already did analysis. Looks like I don't need to work hard. Look like analysis working out fine. Looks like I said we'd be going down. Looks like this is another V. Looks like we're going down. Looks like I'm correct. Looks like, let's wait and see. It can, like I show here, can take more and then do this, or start soon and then do this. And eventually make it all the way to this, because this seems to be in the far future. But basically you get plan A, plan B. You see? Everything worked out. That was fast. Cool. Thank you for that, Christoph. That was a layup. I appreciate. No problem. DG. Let's do DG. Dollar General Corporation. Dollar General Corporation is currently sitting at the bottom and appears to be that it's moving probably to correct into the channel, closing that gap. That makes total sense to me right now, at least on the monthly. Now we're working in reverse, actually. This is pretty fun. So that does not look all too good for them, though. I don't like what I'm seeing there. Let's see the 3 months, if anything. Is that market related? Is that market? Yes, it is. So it is market related. So basically what we're seeing right now is the corrective movement of the overall market and just kind of falls in line very neatly. And that makes me completely skeptical about that gap, and forget about it. We'll see. You're going to be lucky if you're going to make it to that SMA line. So you're going to be really lucky, honestly. Shit. Okay, so that kind of changes the plans. Yeah. Bullish. You are very bullish. You are just perfectly bullish, sitting just kind of in the middle, about to go convergence, divergence. It is very crazy. What does that mean for price action? It means for price action you are going sideways. Oh la la. It is going to be sideways. Wait, what the fuck? How much down are you really? No. I don't know, man. This is kind of difficult. Actually, I'm not going to lie. This one is a bit difficult. Who asked this for this one? Oh, this is Christoph, right? This is, no, Johnny. This is the DG. Johnny. Johnny, I'm not sure. I am not sure whether it can make it to the 120. It's sort of a mix of things, right? And so I am actually not 1000% sure. Prosciutto. I am prosciutto sure about it, or to be honest, I think, I mean, because it is bottom channel, you know what, that actually makes some sense. You know what, I guess I am more right than I'm wrong. In the time being, I think I can see it making it to this ceiling with this momentum, only then starting the corrective movement, which will lock it into that wedge, which totally makes sense, because the market likes to do that shit. So yeah, I would bet, if I would be having to sort of, if I, gun to the head and I have to give an analysis, that totally works very neatly with this. So some corrective movement, potentially that SMA line or some other force that is nearby. But eventually the idea of what's going on is you're testing the bottom. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. You oftentimes test the bottom before you break down, or of course break up. But testing the bottom and you know how they just blow up, that's not good. Not good for you. Does not sign anything good. You might stay flat eventually, sort of not flat. When I say flat, I don't really mean flat. I mean sideways, which is what I should have said. Sideways for some time. and so sort of squeezing out most of that bearish momentum, maybe with some more bearish tugs, right, as the market is going to be more bearish, kind of looking more like this over time, just to then correct. So it might not get as bad, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be unpleasant. Whatever is coming is going to be unpleasant for everyone. Everybody's going to get wet in their own way, if you will, right? If tsunami comes, everybody's going to get wet, basically. Not what you thought about, you perverts. Not that sort of wet. Unless you're holding a bunch of SQQQ, then you'll be, oh, so excited. This already. Yep. We've done that. Seems like Greg is only one having problems to remember stuff. No, I mean, look, Christoph, when you analyze so much, it becomes in the regular flow of things, and even if you think you remember, you're not certain, and you don't want to say something you're not certain of, it just sort of gets piled into the huge pile of analysis. And I mean, what I get to do in a day, most people don't get to do in several months, and I'm not going to exaggerate, but basically get the idea. Like, I get to go running over this stuff. It's impossible to remember every single analysis and every single stock. It just becomes pure insanity. This is not great for you already. This is rather bearish, but we've seen this before. So before we make any final conclusions, let's look at this just to be fair. I don't like that we don't have the 3 months. So I just sort of would say, tell me personally to avoid that sort of thing, but you do you. This is bearish, so makes total sense going right too big. But it definitely confirms this area. It's still too big, but you get the idea, right? That's below the $1. Actually, haven't I analyzed this? I should be having more stuff on here. I'm pretty sure I've already said this. I think I've already done this before. Now I'm having a deja vu, though. I think I've already done this, and I think what could be happening is basically you moving towards that pocket right there, and then retesting back up, which is going to be tremendously normal. Let me see. That bullish momentum is actually more problematic. Where is it coming from? Is that the market bullish? Tell you what, though, since you are currently on the median and it appears to be that you're neatly enough below it, so the first primary step for your price action will be to make it back to, so it looks like more of a headache than anything that is worthwhile, to be honest. At least for the time being. And whether I will even ride that like half a dollar, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I get it, and this. If anything, basically what I'm seeing is for the price action to continue testing that range. Currently, that is where you're at, right? But you get the idea. In fact, I probably should just do this, right? That should be your range, if anything, because you're somewhere moving along with the lines of this range, even though there's a wider range probably, but right now you're in the bottom area, so consider that your range currently. And so if anything, that's probably, again, I'm exaggerating. That's why I say don't look at the time frame. I'm exaggerating the idea, but it's sort of it's just to point out the idea. The ranges we're talking about, the checkpoints, if you will. Alrighty, RBLX, Robloch. Let's see, Robloch had big problem with security and bad articles talking about how children are in danger and stuff, and yeah, so Robloch was not doing well. Robloch. No, Robloch is gonna, I think, even gradually, so it appears to be that you are starting a bit of a positive move right there, but it appears to be that overall Robloch is more downwards. But more so, I'm wondering, isn't it reacting to the market? Like, what's going on? Or is it reacting and just like doing so bad that all it can squeeze out is just like sideways? Shit, that is so not great for Robloch. I would probably expect the 60 range right there. I can see there is a resistance level that's significant enough. That's sort of nearby. I would say what was ceiling, then floor. So roughly around there, that area. So that's, I will just call it a 60. I'll just call it a 60. Why? Why would I be able to actually put it just right? There you go. There you go. By the way, before I jinx it, well, actually, it doesn't matter. We're about to come to the end of the session, anyways. Before I jinx, Johnny, are you being stonks today? Are you being stonks? Do you really want us to look at BRKA? Are you planning to buy BRKA? Johnny, I swear, the day you're gonna have BRKB, are you gonna buy BRKB? Yeah. Oh, BRKB. Damn it. Damn it. Johnny, are you planning to buy BRKB? What? What? Let's talk about this on Discord. What? Are you planning to really buy BRKB? Is that a real thing? Talked about John Lorilla. A proper stunk tycoon doesn't trade the peanuts. Only BRKA. Yeah. There you go, stonks. This is a stock talked about. That's not required, Greg. BRKA, BRKB, all same shit. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you really want to do anything, you guys know what I'll say. Go analyze BRKA because what is that? That's the source. Well, if you're going to BRKB, you're going to a derivative, right? So technically, you always have to analyze BRKA. Huh? Okay. So I think we're done for today. I will wish you all a wonderful weekend. I will again remind those who don't know, sign up to Patreon so you can be a member in the community and be in the know and know better. Join the smart money, the real smart money. Yeah. Join us basically. Join the Discord, join the community. We'll hang out. We'll get to talk, answer your questions, all that cool stuff. Talk about anything from food to aliens and market, of course. And that's it, boys and girls. Love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. See you on the next one or on the Discord. Bye-bye.